So industry recognises that we need to protect the environment while still being able to produce sustainable yields of quality fruit. There's increasing awareness that soil health is fundamental to environmentally sound and efficient production systems, but there's a lack of information on how our current orchard floor management practices impact on production and sustainability. So what we're looking to do in this project is to increase understanding of how orchard floor management practices impact on soil health, tree water availability, nutrient availability, and pest and disease inclusions. So the project will improve our understanding of interactions between management practices, soil health, nutrient and water availability, pest and beneficial populations, and fruit yields and quality. We're looking to move away from bare earth management with herbicide strips, but we need to address grower concerns, particularly in relation to competition for water and nutrients and also fire risk. So the project will also provide knowledge on how to implement these approaches in relation to regional variation. Within the project, we're adopting a systems approach to tree and soil health that looks at the orchard as a whole rather than targeting individual components. So a series of trials is investigating how different plantings, both inter-row and along the tree line, influence soil biological function and nutrient availability and the impacts on tree health, fruit yield and quality. As well as looking at different species mixes in the inter-row, we're also looking at tree line treatments and examining the impact on both pest and beneficial invertebrate populations. Over the last year, we've established 2 intensive research trial sites in Tassie, one in a conventional established block and the other in a newly planted organic block. Treatments include both inter-row plantings and tree line treatments. The inter-row plantings involve mixes of different species, which include grass clover mixes, a flowering meadow mix, which is composed of annuals and perennials. And in the Tassie site, we've got a mix of Lacey buckwheat, coriander, plantain, clovers, BQ mix, oats, daikon radish and chicory. And this is to give us a wide range of rooting structures and rooting depths. And we also have a native flowering mix, which includes everlasting daisy, lanky goodenia, milky beauty heads, native violets, vanilla lily, weeping saltbush, and microlena, which is a native grass. One of the aims of these mixes is to provide a food source and habitat for beneficial invertebrate species. The tree line cover treatments are comparing a fescue clover mix, compost mulch, and bare soil. An important component of the project is our regional cooperators in Western Australia, South Australia, and New South Wales, who've set up similar but less intensive sites in their regions. And in Victoria, we've linked in with the PIPS Enhancing Biocontrol project. The species mixes in these regional sites vary depending on what species are locally available and what the cooperators believed would grow best in their regions. The project's had a rocky start with problems sourcing seed, as most seed is normally available in autumn and we were sourcing seed in spring and most suppliers had run out. So this led to delays in planting and we had poor germination in some plots because the sowing was done quite late in the season. But some plots did establish really well. And because of the late start, we opted to establish the natives in pots and grow them under controlled conditions over summer with the aim of sowing in early winter, which we've now done. Ideally, we'd sow all the species directly into the orchard ground. Another issue is that for ground cover, we want perennials or annuals that reseed themselves without having to be sown by the grower each year. And qualities that we're looking for in our cover crops are traffic resilience, tractor stability, fire resistance, and drought resistance. We've also taken baseline soil samples from all sites to enable us to determine the effect of our treatments on soil nutrient availability. And we're looking forward to monitoring of pests and beneficials this coming season and looking at the soil microbes and invertebrates. In Tassie, we've taken on the Soil Your Undies campaign, which was initially undertaken by the University of New England and Cotton Info. This experiment is to bury 100% cotton underwear for 8 weeks and then dig the undies back up. And the more degraded they are, the better the soil health is. It's a measure of microbial activity with the cotton in the undies acting as a food source for the microbes. And this is also a variation of what's known as the cotton strip assay, which uses unbleached calico strips, but using undies is obviously a lot more fun. So we're asking growers to participate this season and then again in the third year of the project to see if they can see any differences in their own soils. So to keep updated, we're looking at a range of different forums, industry articles in Australian fruit grower, presentations at orchard walks, industry conferences and APAL forums such as this, and obviously the APAL and TIA website. We'll be producing fact sheets and an information brochure at the end of the project as well. And obviously our regional coordinators are a good source of information as well.